What are you thinking? How dare you treat someone's daughter like this? That's right. It's outrageous to make your grandchild suffer. Well, that is. Please calm down. How can I be calm about this? It's unforgivable. I was furious and said whatever I wanted to. My husband didn't hold back either. For our precious daughter and grandchild, we had no intention of forgiving this. My name is Wendy. My husband Vance and I get along well. We both retired and often go out, enjoying our lives together. Our only daughter, Gabriella, went eagerly to her in-laws, so we were sure she was happy. When she went on a honeymoon after the wedding and later told us she was pregnant, we were thrilled. Becoming a grandfather, becoming a grandmother, we were overjoyed. Our first grandchild, Lex, felt like an angel when we held him in the hospital. We were ready to take care of him after birth, but when we talked to her about it, she gave us a disappointing answer. We were eager to help, but when we offered to take care of Lex, Gabriella's mother-in-law, Anita, refused. Our own grandchild. We can't leave him with you. We don't trust you. We were shocked by her harsh words. We started worrying about Gabriella. For years, when we tried contacting Gabriella, I can't talk right now, she'd say and hang up quickly. Hardly seeing her, we grew more concerned. Maybe she's just busy with married life. You were trained by my mom, right? Gabriella will be fine. You taught her well. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I have a bad feeling. Women's intuition, maybe. We can't know that. Her husband seemed nice. They must be happy. Hopefully that's the case. My husband's encouragement was a small comfort. Since we usually go out together, we decided to check on Gabriella by visiting her in-laws. After watching from a distance for a while, we saw Gabriella coming out to water the planters. Okay, let's approach her now. We rushed over to her. Gabriella, are you okay? Ah, you startled me. Why are you here? What are you doing? We came to see how you are. Don't come here uninvited. Why would you do this? It's not okay. You look thin. Are you expecting another child? No, I'm just busy, so please leave. Gabriella was very cold towards us. She seemed frightened, as if afraid of being seen. Come on, it's been a while. Let's have a chat. There's a nice cafe nearby. Let's grab a coffee. No, I won't go to such an expensive place. It's just coffee. Let's talk, okay? As we argued, the house door opened. Gabriella's mother-in-law, Anita, refused our offer to take care of Lex. A woman in lovely clothes appeared. Oh, are you Gabriella's parents? Welcome. Was there some urgent matter? I didn't hear you were coming. Gabriella, you didn't tell me, did you? Anita smiled, but it felt like she was keeping us at a distance. Gabriella tensed up and looked embarrassed. My parents just showed up unexpectedly. I'm sorry. Well, come in then. Invited in by the hosts, we were eager to see Gabriella's life, so we attempted to enter. Oh, is that okay? Then we'll just pop in. But Gabriella seemed uneasy. No, my parents have another engagement. They should leave. I'm busy too, please. Despite being invited, Gabriella's panicked words made us leave. Finally, at her earnest plea, we reluctantly left. I told my husband on the way home that something seemed off with Gabriella, suspecting something with that Anita. It seemed my worries were spot on, and I was filled with anxiety. Worrying day in and out about Gabriella. My chronic heart condition worsened, and I ended up bedridden. Then, unusually, a call came from Gabriella. When I answered, Anita was on the other end. I'm sorry for not paying attention last time. Please come over again. We'll invite you. Anita had her good points after all. Invited by her, I felt relieved, thinking I'd go once I felt better. This might even help with my illness. When I felt a bit better, my husband and I accepted the invitation and headed to Gabrielle's in-laws' home. It was a well-kept house, so we prepared a gift and planned to greet them properly. Hello, thank you for having us. However, the one to greet us was Anita, standing like a guardian deity at the entrance. She looked terrifying, like a demon, and I was a bit intimidated. What was going on? Hadn't she invited us? Excuse me, but it's inconvenient today. We're about to have dinner. We haven't prepared enough for both of you, so please leave. We hadn't come to join their meal. That's fine. We'll wait until you're done. No problem. No, I can't let you stay without offering anything, please. Just go home for today. We came all this way, and we'd like to see our grandchild if possible. That child is still out at a friend's place. Probably won't be back for dinner. Anita seemed to be hiding something. Inviting us, yet turning us away, not letting us inside. What was going on in the house? Was Gabriella safe? I felt like a detective or a cop trying to peek inside. Can't we do something? Last time I couldn't even see my daughter properly. We just want to talk. Well, your daughter is independent now, so there's no need to meet so often. Oh, come on, please. I already told you we're about to eat. Or are you planning to join us? We don't have enough for you. After a few back and forths, we ended up defeated by Anita's pressure and had to leave. I had hoped to talk with Gabriella after so long and felt disappointed. On the way home, feeling sad that we couldn't meet Gabriella, my husband gently patted my shoulder. He understood me, being my life partner. It's okay. They have their reasons. Even if we can't meet Gabriella as we wish, it's fine as long as she's doing well. Well, last time I saw her, she looked so thin. I'm really worried. Maybe she's dieting. I should be the one dieting, not Gabriella. She's always been slim. Did she change her mind after marriage? Dieting? Our Gabriella? The one who loves to eat? Maybe she decided to diet after getting married. Yeah, she always liked fashion. Maybe her thoughts changed. Right. Don't worry too much, Wendy. If you collapse again, that's what worries me. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. We tried not to worry too much about Gabriella. We believed she would contact us if something happened. Days later, we saw Gabriella and Anita at the supermarket. My husband suggested not to approach, but I was too concerned seeing them. They were talking at the meat section. Anita, please, at least for Lex. Are you defying me? Who do you think you are? Lex is a boy, just started elementary school. He needs to build strength. How much do you think that costs? Eavesdropping? I couldn't understand what they were talking about. It seemed like they were speaking in a way that others wouldn't understand. I wanted to approach them, but my husband stopped me. We argued back and forth, getting nowhere. My husband said, Interfering in others' quarrels is difficult. Every family has its own way. Gabriella, pushing a cart, looked lonely and seemed to be shopping under Anita's direction. Her figure from behind seemed to have lost all hope. My heart ached again. My worries grew even larger. I tried to explain this to my husband with all my heart. Hey, something is wrong. This might be serious. We might be in a weak position since our daughter and grandchild are taken, but we need to do something. Maybe you're right, but what can we do? We have no evidence. That's the problem. Gabriella won't talk, and Anita pretends not to know. Let's observe a little longer. We might be able to do something. Wait for that chance. You never know when it might come. Okay, let's do that. For that, let's come here again. Yes, that's a good idea. For Gabriella and Lex, let's keep trying. We decided to regularly observe the children at the supermarket, but we hardly ever saw them. They might not come to this supermarket often. We also wanted to see Lex, so we waited at the school gates. With so many elementary students, it was hard to find Lex, whom we hadn't seen in a while. Meanwhile, our daily routine had completely changed. On the other hand, Gabriella, unable to get through to Anita, seemed to be trying to discuss her son with her husband Sid, despite being busy. Sid, I need to talk to you about something. I have dinner with the manager tonight. No time to talk. Despite Gabriella's desperate plea, busy Sid seemed not to care about home matters. It's about Lex. What, is he in his rebellious phase already? Even when Gabriella tried to explain, Sid would say irrelevant things. No, the doctor said his growth is slow. Don't you see? Lex is smaller than other kids. That's not true. Isn't that just individual differences? No, it's about nutrition. He isn't getting enough. Just feed him properly. That's your job, right? I want to talk to you about your mom giving Lex some meat. Impossible. I'm busy. No time for that. I have to go now. I'm leaving Lex to you. Gabriella worried so much about Lex, but Sid seemed indifferent. As we worried, Gabriella also struggled, feeling Sid's heart drifting away from them. She was convinced that if this continued, things would get worse, and she began to think of ways to change the situation. Gabriella, on the other hand, had appealed to Anita, but she was not being heard, so she was trying to talk to her husband, Sid, because he is the father, even though he is busy with work, and she wanted him to think about her son with her. Meanwhile, I ran into my friend Caitlin on the street while I was troubled about Gabriella's family. Caitlin looked worriedly at my pale face. "Wendy, are you okay?" "My heart, you know." "Really? Take care. Don't overdo it." "Thank you, but I have to go to the community center." I hadn't been to the local meetings for a while. Caitlin had always helped me, and neighborhood relations are important. "Actually, there's something perfect for you." "Oh, what's that?" "Hawaiian dance." "Oh, I love that. I've always wanted to try." I had been feeling down thinking about Gabriella's family, but this lifted my spirits. Friends are indeed valuable. "Thanks for inviting me. I think I can make it." Caitlin, noticing my still poor complexion despite my cheerfulness, seemed to realize I was troubled. "Something happened recently. I heard rumors you've been playing detective." "Detective?" Caitlin looked at me curiously. "I love detective and crime dramas. I've always wanted to try surveillance. Maybe I can help you." "What? Detective? Crime?" "No, you see, watching at the supermarket, staring at kids. It's like something out of a drama." How do you know?" I was flustered. If Caitlin had noticed, maybe Anita knew about our actions too. "Well, it's obvious, isn't it? We're friends, and your unusual behavior stands out." Caitlin said it with a laugh, but the thought of our actions attracting attention made me a bit uncomfortable. From an outsider's perspective, our actions must have seemed suspicious. Oh dear, how embarrassing. But if you're willing to help, I'd really appreciate it. "Hey, what are you doing all this for?" I explained to Caitlin that I was worried Gabriella and her son were being mistreated by Anita, and I wanted to catch them in the act. "Looks like it's time for Detective Karen to step in. Let's clear up this matter, Wendy. Don't overdo it. It's hard on your body. I've got your back, don't worry." "Yeah, thank you. That helps a lot." Caitlin, now fully on board, started asking around. Apparently, many people had seen Anita and Gabriella having arguments at the supermarket, especially near the meat section. What did meat signify, and what could it lead to? With Caitlin's help, I had to gather more evidence. Without solid proof, it was difficult, but thanks to Caitlin, it was clear their arguments were food-related. Yet I couldn't catch the scene myself. These days only heightened my anxiety, affecting my health. My husband tried his best, but we couldn't easily enter their house, and we worried about Gabriella and her family. I might end up hospitalized. Heart disease is unforgiving. Worrying isn't good, but my daughter and grandson are my priority. If I were hospitalized, I couldn't do anything for them. Torn between my health and my daughter's situation, the pain and worry multiplied. I could collapse any day. My doctor had warned me about my fragile health. My husband stayed by my side always. Caitlin also brought fruit. "If you meet Gabriella or Lex, you'll get decisive evidence, so hang in there," and encouraged me. She was a really reliable detective. Our investigation, involving not just us but also Caitlin, was reaching a climax. One day, while shopping in the market, I saw a group of lively elementary school students. Watching them, I noticed a familiar face resembling Gabriella. Looks just like Gabriella. It was Lex. "Lex, is that you? Oh, you've grown." "Yeah, I'm in first grade now." "You seem smaller than the others. Are you eating well?" Lex seemed hesitant to answer my husband's question, but looked straight at us and replied, "No, I'm always hungry, even though we have lunch at school." What did this mean? Gabriella knows how to cook a variety of dishes. Wanting to fill Lex's stomach, we looked for a restaurant. "Let's eat together at that steakhouse. Grandpa will treat you, don't worry. You can even eat mine." At the steakhouse, we let Lex choose what he wanted. Suddenly, Lex burst into tears. So loud that we hurriedly apologized to the other customers. "What's wrong? Is it bad?" "If it's not tasty, you don't have to force yourself," I said. Lex shook his head vigorously and said with a beaming smile, "No, it's not that. It's really, really tasty." Surprised by Lex's reaction, as if he had never eaten meat before, I was relieved to see him happy. "Ah, I see. That's good. You scared us." As we were relieved, Lex muttered sadly, "I wish I could give Mom some of this delicious meat, too." My husband and I understood something important from Lex's words. Maybe Gabriella and her family weren't eating enough. "Lex, you mean you don't usually eat meat?" "Yeah, Grandma says it's too luxurious and won't let us." "Does your mom not eat it either?" "Mom's even worse off. She can't eat fish, only rice." We were shocked. Gabriella and her family were being forced to live like this. "I see, Lex. Is there anything else troubling at home?" "Well..." We listened to Lex, who seemed more energized after eating, and learned various things. We had to confront Anita at their home. We were determined. Feeling comparatively well, we decided to visit their home with Lex. We started with an unrelated issue to catch them off guard. Upon entering, my husband spoke to Anita, while Lex and I followed our plan. "Hello, we ran into Lex nearby, and he seemed a bit down, hungry, so we took him to a steakhouse." "It was kind of you, but unnecessary. Sorry for troubling you." No, he seemed unaccustomed to eating meat. Found it unusual, you know." We caught them off guard. As Lex went inside, I quickly followed. The plan worked like a detective plot. Anita's reaction to the mention of meat made her face contort. There was definitely something amiss. Hey, don't just enter someone's house like that." Anita tried to get rid of us, but I hit the core issue. More importantly, Lex mentioned that the boy isn't eating meat. That's sad, isn't it? Is it true? "Oh no, of course not. That's not true." We pressed Anita, who quickly denied. "Really? You're not letting them eat meat?" "Let's make it black and white, whether we're feeding them properly or not." We cornered Anita, pressing for clarity. "What are you thinking? Not feeding a growing child properly?" Overwhelmed by our momentum, Anita started shifting the blame. "No way, that's not me. Is that Gabriella's idea? I don't know anything." Gabriella appeared, interrupting Anita's denial. "Wait, Anita, I can't take it anymore. It's too hard for Lex. I'll tell the truth. Dad, Mom, thank you for always worrying." "Gabriella?" She was different from her usual self. A mother protecting her child, courageous and divine. "Dad, Mom, actually, Lex and I haven't been fed properly. Sid is always busy eating out, not knowing anything. When I try to speak, he doesn't want to listen, and Anita interferes. Nobody helps us." Gabriella continued passionately. Anita seemed to shrink in size. "Lex is smaller than other kids, and the doctor warned us about his diet, but nobody understands." Gabriella almost in tears, and Anita sweating and trying to deflect. "What are you talking about, Gabriella? I'm not mean like that." Anita's continued denial at this stage was inexcusable. To push a child to a state where a doctor needs to intervene about his diet was way too much. Finally, Gabriella declared, "Anita, I've had enough. I'm leaving this place." My husband comforted Gabriella, resolved in her decision. "Gabriella, you've held up well until now. No more worries. First, pack your things. Both of you are coming to our house." "Dad, thank you. Lex and I will bring our luggage." While Gabriella and Lex went to get their luggage, my anger towards Anita didn't cease, and I added fuel to the fire. It must have been a painful realization for Anita. "What are you doing? It's as if Gabriella is a mere servant. This is not something a decent person does." I'm terribly sorry." Anita, who'd been looking down on people, was now humbled, almost unrecognizable. "What were you thinking, treating someone's daughter like this?" "That's right. How could you make even your grandchild suffer? He's only in first grade." "But that is, please." "Dad, Mom, calm down." "Calm down? How can we? Unforgivable. Why did you do such a thing? Confess." Demanding calm after such terrible actions was audacious. Treating your daughter like a servant and your grandchild suffering from malnutrition? How could you have done such things? I need to hear it from you to even consider forgiveness. "Okay, I'll tell you. I'm in a bit of debt. I thought if I didn't buy meat or fish for Gabriella and Lex, I could save some money. I'm sorry." What a selfish and trivial excuse. I was completely appalled. What? You caused our precious daughter and grandchild such hardship over something so petty? Were you the only one eating meat? That's terrible. We could even take you to the police, you know. Please, anything but that. I'll do anything to apologize. Please don't tell the police. Please forgive me. Anita, utterly defeated by our words, deeply apologized with tears. Gabriella, who had witnessed everything with her packed belongings, ran towards us when Anita submitted. Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. I hated being so cold to you. No need to apologize. We figured as much. You're a kind and dutiful daughter. You couldn't truly be cold-hearted. The debt Anita was trying to repay by skimping on Gabriella and Lex's food expenses was incurred from buying luxury clothes and accessories for herself, ballooning beyond her control. Even her own son, Sid, was shocked by the amount of debt, and amidst his busy work, he ran away with his belongings. The relationship with Gabriella had also deteriorated, leading to a divorce between Sid and his neglectful behavior. Anita, abandoned by her son, sold the house hoping to pay off some debt, and moved into a small apartment. She wandered aimlessly through a life of debt, working day and night. Meanwhile, we joyfully welcomed Gabriella and Lex into our home. How is it? Do you both like it? It's delicious. I can't believe we get to eat so much meat, Mom. I'm glad. The meat is great, but the salmon and fatty tuna are delicious too. Thank you both. There's plenty more potato hamburgers too. We fed them plenty of meat and fish. Perhaps due to this, Lex grew taller, and Gabriella, who had been thin, seemed healthier and her complexion improved. Indeed, eating delicious food is essential. Now both of them have regained their spirits and are enjoying and learning various things with us. Being able to witness our grandchild's growth up close is profoundly moving. The days spent walking around like a detective near Gabriella and Lex were not in vain. I am immensely grateful to Caitlin, who supported me. With the problem resolved, my stress vanished, and my health improved so much that my previous hospital concerns seemed like a lie. Now we are enjoying our happy, smooth sailing days.